taken a rare walk to the allotment plot today. A couple of reasons. Just did a job interview, which was good, I think, but who knows. So I'm all jittery adrenaline off the back of that. First time I've done a job interview in about 16 years. On top of that, kind of found out this week that the car ran out of MOT on Monday. So that's off to the mechanic tomorrow. I'm definitely not driving it. It's a beaut sunny day. My brain is jelly. So I thought I'd wander down the plots and do a bit of watering. As you can see, we're wandering through a bit of an orchard. There was a family in the village who I gather were quite a big thing, but it came down to the woman who owned a house or land passing away, and she left the backyard. Basically, this is their backyard to the village as a community trust sort of thing, which is really cool. We got some apples from here, which we used to make some chutney. At the moment, it's sort of semi-managed. They don't really manage the apple harvest very well, or at all, I think. Most of it ends up on the ground. So we sort of scrumped some. But it's pretty cool. Obviously, some of these trees are quite old. Like that one over there. Big hollow trunk on it. But they have been planting newer ones, and there's some younger trees. So the trust that looks after it is planning for the future. It's a popular dog walking route, and quite often folks walk past our allotments and then down here. I think some of them actually walk through the allotment site, and they and their dogs somehow jump the fence into the cemetery because it's not a right of way and it's got a locked gate on it. But it doesn't do much harm. Look at this. Some snowdrops coming up. That's nice. And yeah, anyway, so if we walked to the allotment more often, this would be the walk. And I'm hoping this year we get to a phase where we aren't doing building work all the time on the plots, so we don't need the toolbox with us. And the toolbox is basically the car. And hopefully this year we can have some more leisurely trips down here and enjoy this walk. And we've also got bikes, which we haven't used for a very long time, which I should fix up. So that'd be rather nice. Cycle down the plots. Maybe keep some basic tools there. We have, as a habit so far, not really kept any tools on the plots because of potential theft issues, which do happen on our site, sadly. But I think if we keep some minimal stuff that's not of high value there, and put it in a place that's not super obvious, we should be okay. There's no point locking sheds or anything on the site because someone just crowbars them open. Not that this happens super frequently. It is just something that has happened a couple of times in the 3 or 4 years we've been using this site. But yeah, there's the orchard. There's the village town, sort of village centre in there. The house, the property the house was on that belonged to the orchard, I believe, is what's now turned into a housing development, as is the way these days. There's a lot of pressure for housing around here, again, as is common throughout most of England and other nearby territories. So there's all kinds of fancy little houses there. And we live about twice the distance through the centre of the village and over the other side. But it's not far. It's a 15-minute walking briskly, I think. But as it happens, walking through the village, walked past the front yard and someone said hello. And it was probably the next most frequently down at the allotment folks from us. That was cool. I guess we can say we know where you live now. Slightly creepy, but anyway. But yes, here's the front entrance to the site. And this really needs fixing. This hole on the right here has got so deep now that my tailpipe on my rather low Volvo can hit the ground if I go through it too quickly. I think we need to talk to the site manager about getting something done about that. Or if all of us chip in, we can get a big bag of gravel or something. I don't know. Anyway, here we are on the site. Oh, someone's doing some work on a plot. That's nice to see. Right, signing out for a moment. And there we go. On the new plot, having a sit down with a very large pork pie from our local butcher. That's my breakfast, basically. I'm aware of what the time is. It's around 4 p.m. And that's how my day goes sometimes. It's nice to sit down in the sun for a bit, have my brunch before I get to the water and in the polytunnel. That's the watering done. A good, nice, deep water. And I've taken the covers off things that were there, partly to protect them from critters. I'm hoping that the new ends, the mesh door type things I've done, will do the job. I'm glad to have looked at these in the light today because it was dark when I finished them. And they seem to be okay. The ones at this end are actually screwed onto the frame from the outside. And just now I've done a little bit of mending just to close up some of the bigger holes. I don't think it's a real issue. So yeah, those pigeons did a fair bit of damage, but I think some of these things will mostly recover. Some of them are pretty decimated, but plants are tough and they have their roots in the ground. I think they'll be okay. And down this end, that door I put on the left is screwed in place, but the one on the right, which is the last one I did, is just going to lean there with a couple of props against it, and really just has the mesh kind of draped over it because I'd run out of light and patience at that point of the day. But it does the job, and we're looking kind of green in the polytunnel, which is cool. Some of these choys look like they're heading towards going to seed. Notoriously, the greeny ones and the paler ones do that, whereas the darker red ones are slower to grow, but also slower to go to seed. So I've heard. That's more from anecdote than personal experience. These garlics are kicking along okay down here. I think these were the Kingsland Whites from the garlic farm. And these, I can't remember the name of them, Picardy White? Oh, they're a softneck. They're the only softneck we're growing. As I said last week, just starting to poke up. We'd sort of given up on them, but they're okay. Now that, I reckon, might be a garlic bulb that got left in the ground from last year. There's multiple little stalks coming up there. And I'm not quite sure what's going on here. They look like garlics that somehow got left in the ground as well. And the eaten garlic down both sides is doing real well. Anyway, that's the end of Thursday, and hopefully we'll be down here on the weekend to get more done with the fence line and get more progress on the new plot over there. Anyway, while the sun's just on the horizon, I'm going to wander home. It's a nice day for a walk. So this is the cemetery end of the site. Don't quite know where that's coming from, but there's been people putting dirt down here, which has actually been useful. We've used some. Nice little muntjac trail through the grass there. That's some sort of potato processing facility over there. And the cemetery, which, as I've noted in previous videos, is known to be rapidly filling up. And there's some concern about the future of the allotment site. One of the things that's holding it back is there's a lot more regulation about where you can put a cemetery these days. and that's why there's these blue pipes. They're checking water levels, monitoring water levels and things like that, and they can only go so far with respect to how close they go to ditches and stuff, and there's ditches down both sides. So I don't know what will happen. Sometimes dog walkers come through here and jump over this fence, which I've never done because I'm very law abiding. I have been tempted. It looks like they've changed some things. There used to be a gate here, but the gate was just where I was standing, which is interesting. Maybe I'll go over the fence today. So, it turns out that the padlock is no longer on the gate, which is a new gate, which is relocated. So I don't know what's happened there. And this is actually the first time I have ever walked through a cemetery. Gonna have to come through this way with Kat sometime. Lots of new headstones. I don't know, apparently there's trends towards the cemetery being used more, and I don't know whether there's a connection between that and the recent COVID times and mortality rates, but apparently this cemetery was supposed to be good for at least a couple more decades, and then bang, suddenly it's full. So something happened there. Well, some pigeon has met its doom. Now, anyway, it's a new walking route so long as they keep the padlock off that gate. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. It's not supposed to be a right of way, and it's been a little bit of a contentious point in the plots because people come through with their dogs and aren't very good at managing their dog poop on a site where that's not good. On a site where there are kids often around, but that's just the local politics of it, I guess. I don't mind the old dog. I'm not too fussed by dogs. Some nice snowdrops. It's nice to finally be back in snowdrop season. The flowers are coming out with these and the ume plum flowers on the plot. That's nice. Okay. Well, that was the tour of Upwell Cemetery. And here we are back out on the river, or I think they call it the navigation. It's a navigable stretch of something that used to be the Neen, but isn't anymore.